trail. It's built to the north. Septic tanks, concrete traffic slabs. You'll notice the water is running around the new trail base rock that's installed there, and it's moving fairly dramatically toward the bluff in one place, and as you look down 2 or 3 more places, it's not dispersed, it's concentrated. Go to the next picture, 6. This is concentrated water coming off the bluff trail in one location. This is just one picture of one location, and it's eroding away at the top of the original bluff. The uncompacted fill bluff that they're currently calling the bluff top. Next picture, 7, you'll see an undermined traffic slab, which I showed to you in a second set of pictures. That's part of what's happening. That traffic slab is for the GCSD, that's the Gualala Community Services District. There are manholes on top. The next picture will show you a manhole which is loose. Water's entering around the manhole. It's eroding underneath. This is very dangerous because the manhole is actually sitting on a fiberglass lid on top of the fiberglass septic tank, and could break and cause a severe pollution issue into the river. The next photo, item 9, is original V-ditch behind the surf market. Before the retaining wall completely collapsed, you'll see the tops of the retaining wall structure to the right. You'll also see a pile of base rock at the end of the V-ditch placed there by others, which tended to block it and potentially cause part of the first major debris flow. Next photo, 10, you'll see the debris flow where it started on that particular parcel. Next item, 11, you'll see a picture of a bluff edge. This is the parcel south of us where the current bridge is installed. You'll see that it's failing, that it's falling off into the edge of the estuary down the bank. The next picture, 12, you'll see the construction of the bridge / retaining wall, because it became a retaining wall. And don't let anybody say there's no retaining walls allowed in Gualala. You'll see the debris that hasn't been carried off is settling down the bank, down the slope. It isn't being protected or carted away. The next picture, 13, you will see the concrete retaining wall bridge that RCLC put together. Next picture, 14, you'll see the part of the bridge that's a retaining wall up against the bank on the left. Item 15 is the non-native and some native plants and some unwanted plants on the downslope of this bridge, where currently it is a degraded atmosphere, and we're not looking at this whole Gualala hillside as a pristine native plant society. This has problems and it needs to be fixed. Picture 16 shows you the retaining of the soil on the breakers, the next parcel south of our parcel that bridge has done. Next picture is 17, is the surf motels retaining wall to the parcel to the north. Next picture, 18, is a picture from our property before you enter the trail on part of where the trail is going to be installed, and that's the vegetation that you see. That's what my customers will see. The next picture is what you would see from the west edge of the trail. That's actually a bunch of blackberries and unwanted, undesirable plants. You can't hardly see the river from it. The next picture would be one that if we install the GeoWeb that you would see. Notice it's dramatically improved. And then the last 2 pictures here, I think I have, 21 is one that is from the west edge of the current RCLC's trail, and 22 would be from the top of the GeoWeb structure. And I have much more, but I want to leave some time for the rest of our group, and I'm sure you'll have some questions for me. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Bauer. Who is your next speaker, Mr. Bauer?
I think Mr. Rout, or, okay, Kim.
Okay.
Hello, members of the board. My name is Kim Fitz. I'm the owner of Bioconsultant. And because some of the comments made in the opposition letters that are now in the public record, I feel obligated to clarify our qualifications to conduct botanical surveys in the Mendocino coastline. I've been working as a professional wildlife biologist in the coastal zone for 17 years, during which time I've conducted various wildlife studies, protocol-level endangered species studies, and had the opportunity to work alongside a very knowledgeable botanical experts doing associated vegetation studies. I have a master's degree in biology with a minor in zoology. In 2002, I formed Bioconsultant and are on the list of Mendocino County's coastal planning department. Our botanist, who performed most of the work, or who had written most of the work in the biological reports, has a master's degree in botany and 20 years of experience working along both Mendocino and Sonoma coastlines. Her expertise is in coastal grasslands and coastal prairies, and she's highly qualified as a in taxonomy identification. She actually is a top taxonomic whiz. She's very highly qualified. She also has considerable experience with the morning glory calisthesia as a species as a whole, as well as with the rare subspecies, having documented and mapped integrating populations along both coastlines for coastal flora for the state parks, and in 2004-06, she identified 2 new populations north of Gualala. So she's well aware of the complexities and the difficulties of identifying between these two very similar taxes. And I also want to point out that I have no vested interest in this project other than the fact that I was hired to do a job. And as with any job that we do, we're very conscientious to identify and document all rare plants that are there. Nothing is hidden under the blanket per se. And I want to make a statement for the record that the report, this particular report, has been reviewed by Department of Fish and Game and has been approved. The calisthesia on site has been thoroughly sampled. Hundreds of plants have been sampled and looked at and analyzed, both in the field as far as growth habits, as well as the individual characteristics of what determines it to be a rare plant or a common plant. You have a detailed description in your letters of that process. Linda has concluded that the morning glory population on the site is an integrating population, but possesses the growth habit and the overall preponderance in leaf shapes characteristics of the common species. If it is determined by the powers that be that samples be sent to England to the expert who resides there, it's imperative that the entire population be surveyed and sent to him, not just cherry-picked individual plants that have more of the characteristics that look like the rare one. The entire population has to be sampled. As far as the silk tassel bush plants that are on site, it's a very small cluster within a very textbook northern coastal scrub community. There is no bluff scrub vegetation on site. And in a recent Department of Fish and Game call, even large alliances of the silk tassel have been told that they have not warranted protection. The wetlands on the site, there are no wetlands on the site. There is an off-site estuarine wetland that's been described in the report. There